Good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Pine Time Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Pine. Now, for today's episode of the Pine Time Podcast, what we're going to do is I'm going to tell you a few stories from the year 2023 as relates to reaching your potential, how to reach your goals, how to organize things. I picked this year in particular because in the year 2023, on New Year's Eve, what ended up happening is as I was laying in bed about to, drift off to sleep, I had tears of joy in my eye. And the reason was that it was the first time in my life that I can remember where I didn't leave anything on the table. I didn't waste any time. I didn't waste, a second when it came to reaching my goals. There were still things that could have been, tweaked here and there for sure. But when it came to everything that was, available to me, taking advantage in a positive way of all the opportunities, that was the year that that I felt like I was complete for lack of a better word. I felt very proud of what I had accomplished during that time. Um, and that's really what I want for you, the viewer. So for today, I'm going to share a couple different stories, from that year and why it was so impactful to me personally. So I'm Jason Pine, and you probably know that by now, but I'm a runner, musician, and songwriter, frontman of the Jason Pine Band. So I got a bunch of different episodes planned for the Pine Time podcast. So stick around, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and yeah, let's jump right into it. So. Right off the bat, 2023 was a very unique year to say the least because I did three marathons. I completed two of them, and then I started, working with my band a little bit more. We did six shows. I'll talk about that a little bit later in this episode. But the LA Marathon, that's the first one that I did. That was in March. I think it was in March if I remember correctly, but I'd never run a marathon before up to this point. And so I completed the marathon, flew out to Los Angeles. Um, it took, geez, it was like 7 hours and 45 minutes. It took pretty much the whole day for me to complete the marathon. Um, and it was really funny because, we did. Like obviously the city is celebrating and all of that good stuff. And I didn't realize that like LA, you think like the sun, it's gonna be sunny the whole time that me and my family were out there. But no, most of the time it rained, and I found out later that apparently like, and you guys, if you're from the area, definitely tell me in the comments down below. But apparently March, like April, basically like spring every year is like rain season for Southern California. So that was interesting. But no, so I completed the marathon, had a great time, and what's kind of funny is I planned out the year very ambitiously. So I was going to do another marathon about 5 weeks after that. And since I'd never done a marathon before, I thought to myself, I was like, no problem. I can do another marathon in 5 weeks, but I didn't do any stretching. I pretty much, once I got back to where I live, I was just, working out, heavy weights, so on and so forth. So don't do that. That's very, very, very dumb of me. Um, but I thought, right, like, okay, I can do this now. I had the confidence to do it. Well, on mile 19 of the one I did 5 weeks later, my left leg was in immense pain. Um, I don't think it completely snapped, but it was very painful. I couldn't walk on it for an extended period of time. So that was painful, but I knew that I could do another one. And so, because I'd already done the LA Marathon. So I ended up doing the another one a few months later. It was a lot of fun. Um, and then when it came to everything with my band, so my music, so the Jason Pine Band, we play pop punk music. Got some original songs, but a good amount of covers too. And we did a show at the Stone Pony, and really quick, what was really funny about that after we had done our set list and everything is my I saw that I had a missed text message from my mom, and she was like, how'd the show go?" my mom sometimes like she worries or whatever about me, which I appreciate. But I was like, it went good. And she sent me back like the shocked face or whatever, a shocked like emoji. So that was really funny. For this particular show, we'd only had like about like three-ish weeks, of rehearsal time. I thought we did great. One of my friends came up to me afterwards and he said, you guys sounded great, but your jokes aren't funny. Um, I'm definitely not a comedian. I am bombastically funny sometimes. Just, some of the stuff I say very randomly. Apparently, people find that funny sometimes. When I try too hard, apparently that's when I'm not like funny at all, or I get the crickets. Um, but that's kind of beside the point. Doing this show for me, and all the other bands that played that evening did really good too. For me though, it was confidence. Because the Stone Pony, of course, that was a big deal. And it was like, okay, I can do this. So that was a lot of fun. Um, so all of these experiences, kind of putting them together, right? I think a lot of the times, I think with our goals, we place kind of we place these in our head they're these realistic kind of like setbacks is the wrong word. What's the one I'm thinking of? Um, like I can only do so much in 1 year, right? I forget the word that I'm trying to think of, but that's really what I'm saying. We have these mental roadblocks, I guess is the best way that we can that I can put it, where we think we can only achieve X amount that year, right? Really need to focus on doing less or whatever the case is, right? Um, One of the things I learned from doing all this stuff is that you know only have 365 days, right? From beginning to the end of the year, that's the amount of time that you have. And you really have to use it wisely because um, if you're focused on doing 100 things all at once, because I broke all this stuff down individually. I did the 3 marathons, but I was only focused on being in the present, what I needed to do for each one. It was the same thing with the show at the Stone Pony that I did. Um, or there were other things that I focused on a little bit later in the year. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is like if you try and focus on like just using myself as an example, running 3 marathons, focused on building a musical presence, shall we say, doing a bunch of shows and focus on all of that all at once. One, you're gonna get burnt out, so don't do that, speaking from experience. But two, that's a very easy way to get discouraged. I'm sure a lot of you watching this podcast can be very tough on yourself, and I'm the same way. But if you space out your priorities, and what I mean by that, as I've mentioned, is that focus on what's the most important task at hand. Once that task has been completed, and you've done an excellent job at whatever it is that you need to knock out of the park, then you can focus on the next thing after that, or once you're really close to completing that first goal or that first benchmark that you set for yourself. This is not easy to do because I'm sure I'm like most of you in the sense that I want to do everything all at once and I want to do it well, but that's just not realistic. So the broader point of this podcast, what I would encourage all of you to do, if you got goals or you got things that you're working on, that's great. More power to you. But try and organize it in a way where your priorities are very clear. You know, what's most important this year, what's most important this year, the following year, the year after that, or even week to week, month to month, all that good stuff. Um, so this is really what I've learned from this experience. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Pine Time Podcast. We got 2 episodes out now, so I'm really excited. I'm gonna have some musician friends of mine come on here. A few other special guests will be on very soon, so stay tuned for all of that. Thank you for for listening to my rambling, for lack of a better way of putting it. And yeah, hit that subscribe button, notification bell. I'll talk to you all in the next one. Take care. Bye, everybody.